This is criminal barrister Scott Major. He spent his career fighting for justice, and now he's ready to rule in X-Life Court.
Good day. Honorable people of the court, there's no stairs here. Order! Everyone ready? Everyone may be seated. You may be seated. Okay. So, we are gathered in this courthouse today for the trial of Gamerbury versus Smallish Beans. So, if the prosecution would like to give their opening statement.
Is that me?
Yes, that's you.
Okay. Hello, jurors. Hello, everyone else. We, as a community, when we make a public space like Spawn, we expect it to be safe. When we go to Spawn, we're not expecting to have to be on guard. At simple local businesses, there should be a standard level of safety we can all rely on. And Joel abused that feeling of security when he built an 11-block tall ladder with no signs, no railings, and no water to fall into. Some of us don't have the best armor or the most hearts, and they're expecting us not to endanger them any more than they already are. Are we not a community that looks out for the safety of others? Or was Joel's intention to cost even more lives with his dangerous shop, which, might I add, has a literal headstone? We as a community must do better. That is my opening statement.
Thank you, prosecution. Defense, would you like to give your opening statement?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the court. Judge Scott, the jury, thank you for taking the time out of your day to attend this trial. This trial is a frivolous attempt to pass the blame onto an innocent man. Throughout this trial, we anticipate that his moral character will be misrepresented by the opposing counsel to push a fictitious narrative of wrongdoing. We ask that you first get to know this man for who he really is. Smallish Beans here is a husband, a father to 2 beautiful pets, a hard-working Minecraft builder, and an upstanding member of the X-Life community. In today's trial, you will be presented with evidence of the safe use of the shop by many other players. You will be presented with evidence of a continued pattern of reckless behavior from Strawberry 17 to support the conclusion that she is wholly responsible for her own death on that day, not the defendant, Smallish Beans. Thank you.
Okay, so if prosecution, would you like to bring forth your evidence?
Well, I don't physically have any to hand to you. I did not know that was going to be a thing we could do.
Okay,
However,
well, explain your evidence.
We all, I'm sure, once we heard about the incident, went and watched Megan's video and saw it happen before our eyes. As she even exited the shop, we recognized how dangerous it was. And even in an attempt to be careful, as she exited and stepped down the ladder, she missed completely and died because there was just nothing to stop her from falling. We obviously also have other shops and other places that have very tall ladders, like the 4-Heart Clubhouse, but there is a trap door right at the very top to make sure that you don't overstep. Just because, we care about the safety of others. Yeah, maybe she should have been a little more careful. But also, is it not our duty as a community to look out for each other? We all watched Megan step off that ledge and fall to her doom. I think that's all the evidence we need.
Okay, do you want to call forth your first witness?
My first and only witness is Mika.
Okay, Mika, would you like to please take the stand?
Sorry if I cry. I'm really shaken up by the events of the day.
So, Mika, do you promise to uphold the truth, not to lie in the courthouse, and to speak with honor and integrity?
Yes, I promise.
Okay, you may continue with your examination of your witness.
Mika, you were there on the day of the incident. Could you just first describe in your own words what you witnessed?
Oh, it was a tragic scene. I witnessed one of my best friends fall to her death, go to a clubhouse that doesn't even have a clubhouse. I'm sorry, I'm too shaken up. Can you ask another question?
Yes, it's funny that you bring that up, that Megan has also, now that she has lost her life, has been abandoned by all clubhouses because there is none for 3 hearts.
And I would like to add that when we confronted Joel about it, he tried to get Megan to do free labor by telling her she should build the 3-heart clubhouse.
This is true. He tried to tell her that she should be the one to build it because she now is the only member of the 3-heart club. But it was his doing that left her all alone. We failed her. Now, Mika, do you have any experience with building and maybe construction safety measures that should be taken?
Oh yes, absolutely.
What is your experience?
I have a ladder outside of my house.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay. Rip Mika is not an expert in construction.
Okay, I'll rephrase the question. Would you say that you're quite familiar with work with ladders and construction?
Yes, I'm quite familiar. I have many ladders at my own house.
Okay, and would you say, especially in a place like Spawn where it's public spaces where we're all expected to go and we're not looking to watch out for our backs at every second when we climb a ladder, would you not say that it's on the person's duty who constructed the building that is a public space, a public shop, to make it safe?
Yes, it was actually one of the very first things I learned on this server was to put a pool of water at the bottom of your ladder so you don't get hurt.
And yes, how many of us in this courtroom have died to falling? You don't have to say anything. I know there's a few of you. Which is why it's our job as a community at Spawn to make it as safe as we can for those of us that have less hearts. Some of us are much more careful. I would even say because Megan was one of the people with the lowest hearts, she had been the most careful on the server until the incident.
It's also well known that Megan's kind of a reckless person, and why would you not put stuff on your ladder to protect Megan when you know she's in the server?
Yes, really, at any moment that any of us aren't doing that for Megan's safety, it's our fault. But I believe that is all of my questions for me.
Okay, would the defense want to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the defense would like to cross-examine the witness.
Rip Mika, you were present at the death of Strawberry 17. Could you tell me who else was present on that day?
Shelby was present on that day.
And could you tell me in detail what occurred in the 20 seconds or so preceding Strawberry 17's death?
We were going to be patrons of this shop for smallish beans, and we all went up the ladder, and unfortunately Megan fell off of her ladder. I can't remember if anything was said. My memory, it's so bad.
Do you remember perhaps commenting on the dangerousness of the ladder?
Well, see, not really. Did you watch any videos by chance?
I rest my case,
Okay.
Your Honor. I have no further questions for the witness.
Mika, you can take a seat back in the audience. Okay, so is that the end of the prosecution's case? Do you have anything else you wish the jury to know before we move on to the defendant?
I would just like to make a comment that yes, I believe Mika did make a comment about the dangerousness of the ladder, and I don't believe that that makes it Megan's fault, but I think that that only further puts it as Joel's fault.
Remember, Joel harassed me after I fell and he said, "Get better armor," and he yelled at me, and then made me cry more after I was sad already.
Yes, also, the defendant harassed my client by telling her that she should get better armor. And she was just a little two-heart little baby with just very fresh obsidian armor that I gave her because her protection is important to me, her safety. And then he told her that she should do better when it was his shop that caused her death.
Okay, so if the defense would like to bring forth your evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I present to the court Strawberry 17's life history book. If it pleases you, I have a copy for you. I have a copy for all the jury members. This book details the 2 death events that have befallen Strawberry 17. Her first death, as we can see, was a mere 27 minutes after her arrival on X Life. And it was caused by an unmarked lucky block, which she did not even hesitate to open. This is evidence of her reckless behavior.
Objection! She definitely hesitated for 2 seconds.
Objection denied. Objection denied. Allow the defendant to continue with their speech.
As you can see, the second death was the falling event, which we're here in the court today to discuss. The opposing counsel would have you believe that in the 29 hours between her first and second death, that Strawberry 17 was invested in her survival. But this could not be further from the truth. Strawberry 17 was in fact trying to lose a life. Your Honor, I have some more evidence to present.
Okay. Let's put it on the screen for everyone.
Can you all see this?
Oh!
I present to the court a screenshot of Megan's video
Nice.
titled Opening Lucky Blocks Until I Lose a Heart. Outright evidence that Strawberry 17 is not cautious about her antics in the X-Life world.
Objection! It was just a clickbait title.
That's not an objection admissible in court.
Yep.
Fine.
I need to watch more shows.
Does the opposing counsel expect us to believe that despite her attempts to purposefully die opening Lucky Blocks, that on the day of the shop death, she was even trying to be careful?
So, do you have any witnesses you would like to call forth?
Oh, I do, Your Honor. First, like to call to the stand Solidarity Gaming, also known as Jimmy.
Yes. Mr. Gaming, if you would like to take a seat on the stand. Now, Mr. Gaming, do you promise to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Do you promise to uphold the law and fight for justice in the courthouse?
I do.
Okay. Miss Shadow Lady, you may continue.
Mr. Solidarity, could you first for the court please list the number of ways that you have died on this server?
Oh, you're really gonna do this to me? Okay. I've drowned. I've drowned in a lagoon. I've died by a crab. And what was the last one? Oh yeah, I died in lava as well. A puddle, not a puddle. It was a lake. Yeah, so those 3 ways.
Thank you, Mr. Solidarity. So as the court can see, Jimmy has quite a lot of experiences with the dangers of this server. Mr. Solidarity, how many times have you used the shop on this server?
I've used it 2 times.
Has the shop ever caused you injury?
Not at all. No.
Not a single heart?
No, not a single heart. I know how to use the ladder, going up it and down.
Thank you, Mr. Solidarity. That is all the questions I have for you.
Okay, does the prosecution wish to cross-examine Mr. Solidarity?
Yes, I do. Are you truly saying that you have never lost, maybe not a life, but maybe half a heart? Maybe even just taken a hit, but you didn't lose any hearts from falling from a ladder?
Maybe elsewhere, but not on Smallish Bean's shop. No.
But you'll admit, any one of us at any point could lose half a heart or so on a ladder. They're just dangerous generally.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Solidarity. You may take a seat.
Thank you.
Ms. Shadley, did you have any other witnesses you wish to call forth?
Yes, I'd like to call my next witness, Joey Graceffa, to the stand.
Oh, God.
Mr. Graceffa, please come forth and take the stand.
Judge, I have an objection.
Yeah, that man is hardly credible.
He's not wearing court clothes. He seems like he's going on vacation.
We cannot judge everyone's ability to afford expensive clothing, Miss Mika.
You have a court date, but you also are traveling to Hawaii.
Sorry, you guys. It's very difficult to be here and to look over that side, so I won't be looking that way. I can't look at her. So Your Honor, if it's okay, I would just like to look at this side of the courtroom.
Yes, that is fine, Mr. Graceffa. Now, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Graceffa, as a longtime friend of Strawberry 17, how would you describe her behavior here on the X-Life server?
Well, she's caused me quite distress while I've been on the server. You see, my first day on the server, I came across a very beautiful, small, innocent turtle that needed a home. And I was providing him a lovely home. His name was Ninja.
It's not relevant to this case.
Oh, it is. Your Honor, it's
Objection.
very relevant.
Your Honor, I argue that this story is relevant. It speaks to Strawberry 17's character.
Objection is denied.
The following day, I logged on the server to see that my turtle was missing and replaced by a frog. And I was so confused and distraught at where my precious ninja went. and I soon found out that Strawberry 17, aka Gamerbury, she broke into my home and she stole my turtle from me with her lasso, which by the way, she's very reckless with. But anyways, I was willing to forgive her because, you know, maybe it was just a joke, but it turns out that she murdered my poor innocent turtle. I was heartbroken.
Shelby.
And
We'll get our turn.
I didn't know if I could forgive her for that. And so therefore I just don't think she's a person that should be trusted on the server. If she's willing to murder a small innocent turtle, who's to say she's not to do that to one of us? Or herself, for that matter.
Thank you, Mr. Graceffa. Could you also speak to the character of Smallish Beans? Similarly, you are a longtime friend of his as well.
Oh, Joel has been nothing but an honor to have on the server with his gorgeous builds that he provides for our viewing pleasure. And it's just truly something to be admired.
Continue, Mr. Graceffa.
Yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of disturbance going on from that side of the room.
Sorry, Mr. Graceffa, please continue. Take your time.
I haven't heard Joel complain once at all at this courtroom, but I'm hearing a lot of mumbling coming from that side of the room. So I think that speaks a lot of volume about who Joel is as a person and a player on the server. Very respectful, honorable man.
Thank you, Mr. Graceffa. Do you have anything else to add about the case?
I think you've done a great job, Lizzie, at presenting.
Thank you.
I think
Okay, I'll leave the witness ready for cross-examination.
Okay. The prosecution, if you'd like to cross-examine, Mr.
I
Graceffa.
would like.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. It's also very difficult to look at this woman in the eyes as being part of the process of the disappearance and kidnapping of my turtle. So if you don't mind, if I just look down.
Mr. Graceffa, I'm going to have to ask that you do look Miss Shovel in the eyes to keep the court session in play. You did promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it for Joel.
Wow.
So Shovel, you may continue.
Okay, if we're going to bring up the turtle incident as something to speak on Gamerbury's character, I think that it's relevant to also mention that Joey had threatened her life first. He
Objection, Your Honor.
all of our lives.
We're not attesting to the character of my witness, where the trial here is about Mr. Smallish Beans.
The character of the witness is important because we need to know that he's actually being honest about the events that were recorded. All of our videos are up and public. And the event was an accident. Megan helped us build an oasis for the turtle, just as like a short, it was a prank. We all prank our friends, and it was an accident. It was only after he had threatened all 3 of our lives. And the turtle died by accident. Nobody had actively killed the turtle.
Is that a question?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading question.
Yes, please keep it more direct.
Oh my God, how much TV do you watch?
I
I believe it's important to note Joey's character, as he has also, as it was mentioned, the lassos, been lassoing people left and right on the server. He's just as reckless, so if we're going to be bringing that up, I think that it's notable that Joey has also been just as reckless.
That's not a question, Your Honor, so I don't understand what...
Please direct your questions to things that Mr. Graceffa can answer rather than statements about Mr. Graceffa.
Your Honor, if the opposing counsel has no questions for my witness, I'd prefer if they would stop badgering him.
I have a question about the parrot.
Can you explain what the parrot has relevance to do with the case of Miss Birdie's death at Small Bean's shop? Is the parrot owned by either parties?
I would say I'm kind of like a godmother, right?
So that's a no, which means that the relevance to this case is not applicable.
Just because we're both women does not mean that that parrot can't have 2 mothers.
Yes, God!
That's not what I was saying, but she already said that she was the godmother, so it doesn't count in a court of law.
It's a pet name.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I could just say one more thing.
Yes.
I think
Oh.
we all know that we're living in a world full of Karens. And Karens who want to speak to the manager and sue over every little thing. And I think Gamerbury is showing lots of signs of being a Karen, and I just want you guys to keep that in mind. That
Mr. Graceffa, please keep the insults out of my courtroom.
This
okay,
kangaroo court.
Yes.
I think that's all I have.
Okay,
to
you may
say.
take a seat. Thank you, Mr. Graceffa. Is that the end of your case, Miss Shadow Lady?
That's all the evidence we have to present. Thank you.
Okay.
Unless the defendant himself would like to make any statement.
Nah, I feel like you've said it all perfectly. Thank you. Miss Lawyer.
Okay. Now, if the prosecution would like to make your closing statement,
Megan would also like to make a statement. Does she have that opportunity?
yes.
I would like to make a statement. I would just like to say that I love being on this server, and I do really like ladders. My entire house is built with ladders. I don't have stairs. I have ladders for every single floor, so I'm used to using them. I've gotten better at parkour. I never killed a turtle. It definitely happened on its own. It was living in a 1x1 space. I was just trying to provide a better temporary home for it while a bigger house was being built. And that, things should be safe. They should be safe on this server. I don't, when there's holes in the ground, I fill them. If I see a big crevasse when I'm adventuring, I try and create a bridge or a little bit of dirt around it so that if someone else comes across it, maybe they won't fall in the hole and die. I think about these things, and I think about everyone on this server because I feel like we all deserve a fair chance at living. I just would hope that everyone else was kind of thinking the same way. Maybe that was wrong for me to assume. Joel's ladder was very, very dangerous. And it's at spawn. What happens when Ollie comes on the server and just falls to his first death? I worry about him whenever he decides to log on. Anyways, that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. And if the defense would like to make their closing speech.
It is unequivocally true that the ladder does not have a block behind it. The question I pose to you is, does it need a block behind it? Ladders are a safe way to move vertically and are used daily by the players on this server without resulting in death or injury. In fact, the very ladder in the shop is used regularly by a diverse number of players on this server, again, with no injury or death. After all the evidence you've been presented with in the court today, how can we condemn this innocent man to lose some of his money, one of his lives, or spend some of his time in jail? I implore you to return an innocent verdict. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Well, if the jury would like to remove themselves from the call and deliberate and come back to me with your decision.
Hello. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Do we want to wander outside or stay in here?
Yeah, I don't want to do my deliberation in here with these people.
Yeah, they're all staring at us.
We'll meet
I think we
outside.
go
We'll
outside.
meet outside. Okay, so my thoughts.
You
I think it's just an accident. I don't think the ladder is unsafe. I think it's scary.
just
but
take your
I
suit
don't
jacket
think
off.
I don't.
I
think
was
it's
getting a little
totally
hot,
unsafe.
okay? I was
Also, why are you
on it.
undressing while we're deliberating?
I'm just taking my jacket off. I don't
Stop
know
taking your
that.
clothes off. Do you agree with what I said?
Sorry, I was taking my jacket off. What?
Go ahead.
I'm
Say
saying I
that.
think it's just an accident. I think the ladder is a little scary, but I don't think it's unsafe.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
just have to be careful going down it.
I said the same thing when I went to it for the first time. So, this is a little bit scary, but I
Me
mean,
too.
I can also use a ladder. It's pretty basic stuff.
Would a puddle at the bottom of the ladder make players feel safe? Yes. I think we could come to an agreement to maybe add a puddle without any charges to either party.
Ooh.
That's true. Also, on top of that as well, there's the Four Heart Clubhouse, which is there's a railing at the top with just a few trapdoors around it, and there's no
Mhm.
puddle at the bottom, and nobody has had, and arguably a taller ladder, and there's
Yes.
been no spills on that at all. So
So either way, I think that or a puddle could help solve this problem.
So just to clarify, because they're being very serious with this courthouse stuff, we are saying he's not guilty.
Yes.
yes,
But I think he should.
But the jury
make
would
some
recommend.
safety.
Yes, I think our safety
Things.
recommendation is
Yes.
great. Now, which of you would like to deliver the verdict? Catherine, you have quite a soothing voice. I think you might.
Sure.
Megan might take it the best from you, I was thinking.
Okay.
Because I think she's going to be
Probably.
quite distraught after this.
Okay. Are you ready to go back in?
Probably.
Yes.
Have the jury came to a verdict?
Yes. We have come to a decision that Joel is innocent.
Okay.
With some
The jury. Oh,
wait.
Kangaroo court.
you don't
With
get
a
to.
little thingy, a little thingamabob. We think
What?
it was just an accident, but it would be nice if he added a safety feature for next time.
Okay, thank you, jury. I will take that into consideration with my sentencing.
Okay.
So, the jury has decided that Smallish Beans is not guilty and holds no responsibility for the loss of life from Miss Burry. It is advised by the court that you do make some alterations to make sure that we don't have a situation like this again, but it is an advice, not a law. Court is adjourned.
Can I say I will add the barriers to protect the young innocent people like Megan on this server who are unable to use ladders properly. Goodbye.
Thank
That
you.
is all.
Oh. I was about to say what a nice man, but he sprinted out that door.
Oh, put your armor back on. Be careful out there.